Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and today I'm talking about the differences between Disneyland Paris and the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. I know, usually when you see me sitting here in front of the red sofa, it's because I'm going to be telling a Sunday story time. And that's not what I'm doing today. I am doing the introduction to the Disneyland video, and there's going to be a lot of footage from inside the parks coming up soon. But while I was there, I was just so fascinated by the park that I forgot to do like this introduction. So that's why I'm doing it from here at home. But let me take you inside the park, and I'll mention just in advance that this is comparing the Disneyland park, like the Magic Kingdom park in Paris, to the Magic Kingdom park in Florida. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like an advanced video. It's for people who know a lot about one of the parks or the other.
First of all, you don't take a monorail or a ferry boat to the parks in Paris. You can just take the plain old metro train or the TGV long distance trains. There's a larger entrance courtyard, and to get into the Disneyland park, you first have to walk through this very fairy tale looking garden and underneath the redonkulously expensive Disneyland Hotel. It creates kind of a barrier between the real world and the fantasy world inside the park, and I think it's nice. Once you've passed all the ticket booths and come out the other side, you are then technically inside the park, but have not yet gone under the train station, which is the trademark of every Magic Kingdom entrance. Keep on walking, go under the train station through that famous tunnel we all love, and then you're at the beginning of Main Street. The Main Street here is still very traditional in the sense that it still has very different small shops and restaurants, whereas Florida's is basically two big shops and an ice cream parlor. And here in Paris, there are two covered passageways on both sides of Main Street that are unique to this park only. It's a huge improvement over the previous Magic Kingdom style parks that were built before '92, because it helps get guests out of the park more quickly after the fireworks at night by providing much more walking space than Main Street alone. Alright, I'm at the end of Main Street now, and I have to hold my camera, telephone sort of close to me because it's so loud here and I want to make sure you can hear me. Where I'm standing is basically the middle of what most people call the hub, the big circle in front of the castle. And there's so many differences to talk about, and let me just tell you some that are obvious from right here. First of all, of course, the castle is much different. This is a different design of the castle, and a little detail. All the other castles, the bottom part, this part here, is out of like fiberglass. But here, it's real rock. So that's something new. And in this castle, you can actually go in and walk around. Take a look. Here's another big difference. There's a permanent resident of this castle that you can visit at all times, or basically at all times. He's down here. Let's talk about some other differences. Just for your orientation again, here's the castle. And I'm standing, basically right here in the middle of the hub. If we were in Florida right now, then right over here would be Liberty Square. And if we walk through Liberty Square, we would get to the Haunted Mansion. But here in Paris, that is the entrance to Adventureland. You can sort of see through there is the fantastic Agrabah Cafe where we had lunch yesterday. And if you keep walking that way, you'll get to Adventure Island, which is something that also is only here. And that is where Pirates is, which basically you could say Pirates of the Caribbean here in Paris is where the Haunted Mansion is in Florida. Now, if we were in Florida and I turn over this way, then this would be the entrance to Adventureland, but here it's the entrance to Frontierland. And if you look just through there, you can sort of see Big Thunder Mountain. And if you turn left here, that is where the Haunted Mansion is here. And basically, where Tom Sawyer Island is in Florida, that is where Big Thunder Mountain is here in Paris. And another really odd fact for having such a huge, beautiful Magic Kingdom style park here is there is no Jungle Cruise. But I can live with that. Let's walk over here to the other side of the hub so I can tell you some of the differences that are obvious here from this side. Here we are in front of the castle again, and as you can see, you can walk directly up into and through the castle. In the Florida version of the Magic Kingdom, there's a big stage here, and that always causes some sort of traffic problem, so they built the stage over here. And there is a moat down there, just like usual, like, you know, in front of all the castles. But one thing that's different here is there's also a water show that they use with the stage shows over here, and also with the huge nighttime spectacular, which is called Illuminations here. And of course, you know, Illuminations in Epcot is something totally different. All right, turning here over to this side, where Tomorrowland would be in Florida is Discoveryland here. It used to be, the whole land used to be themed like Jules Verne, and now it's sort of a mishmash of different themings, but that is the Space Mountain. And let's go into Discoveryland and look a little bit closer.
Space Mountain in Paris is so different than all the other Space Mountains. It begins with an uphill launch, has a dedicated onboard soundtrack, and takes space travelers upside down 3 times. The outside is visually so fantastic, and since the new trains have been added this summer, the ride itself is fun again. You can also find Star Tours, Space Ranger Spin, and the Autopia here, but there is unfortunately nothing similar to the People Mover. There is, however, a one-of-a-kind walk-through attraction of Jules Verne's submarine, so be sure to take a walk through there when you've seen everything else in our board. Oh, and there's something else you can only see in Paris, this charming Wally and Eva statue. Now let's talk about Fantasyland. You'll find some classic favorites here, but they are in much different locations. For instance, this is Pinocchio's Daring Journey, which is where PhilharMagic is in Florida. This is where Be Our Guest restaurant is in Florida, but here it's a train station and a character meet and greet. This is Alice's Curious Labyrinth, which is basically where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is in Florida. And if you look back here, you can see the spires of the facade of Small World, which is located about the same place that the teacups would be in Florida. Like I said, you'll find a lot of classics here, some of which are long gone from Walt Disney World, and some of them look much different than you're used to seeing. And in the back corner of Fantasyland, this park also has a storybook land similar to Disneyland in California, with a Casey Jr. train and the storybook canal boats. Casey Jr. here is quite a bit faster than the Disneyland version and might even seem like a roller coaster to smaller kids. And one of the biggest differences is the nighttime show in Paris. This show relies heavily on projections, includes the dancing waters, and is called Illuminations, which, as you know, is actually the name of the nighttime show at Epcot in Florida. Call it what you want, it was lots of goosebumps and tears for us. And there we go. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. There's a lot of videos about Disney World in Florida, Disneyland in California, and other theme parks around the world here on my channel, so be sure to subscribe if you're into that. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and if you want to give me a little tip like you would give your waiter or your the person who cuts your hair, you can do that at patreon.com/veryunofficial. Very special thanks, as always, to my VIPs over there, and I will see you soon. Today is, as I'm recording this, it's Thursday, and I'm leaving next Tuesday for another cruise on the Norwegian Epic in the Mediterranean Sea. So look forward to those videos too. Bye-bye.